Yeah, Christian music veteran there, Toby back with Zach Williams and Cornerstone. It is 8 minutes after 8. Rhema Brekky here on your Friday morning. It is great to have your company, Mick Wright, in the chair with you through until 9. Been looking forward to this one for sure. We are joined. This is a brand new segment for us as well. Super excited about this, and joined by a naturopath and nutritionist. Kelli Kieselbach is in the basically zooming in with us live at the moment. Kelli, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning to you.
You're coming through there beautifully. This is exactly what we want this morning. So before we jump into to what we are discussing this morning, it is a big topic, mind you. Chronic pain is where we'll be going with this. But just in a couple of moments, can you give us a little bit about the Kelli Kieselbach story?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Just the short version. So I guess I myself have had my own chronic health journey that I've lived. And so that led me into becoming really fascinated with food and how it could either help or hinder us in our health, both physically and mentally, and went on to study nutrition, natural medicine, and obviously my faith plays a big part in that as well, in terms of how I practice, and that this mission that I have to try and help people improve their quality of life with chronic pain and chronic fatigue as well.
Yep, come on, that's what we're all about here. And I think these days, in particular, there is like a lot more focus on holistic approaches to medicine, isn't it? It's not really anymore about just turning up and getting some drugs. It's looking at the whole person now, isn't it? Really, body, soul, and spirit.
That's right. And I think we really have to. The types of conditions that we're seeing now, I mean, in Australia, the things that are killing us, the things that are highest on our list are these chronic conditions that are considered lifestyle conditions. So they're actually caused by the way we're living our life and how we're eating and stress and modern lifestyle. So, yeah, we have to be a little bit more holistic in our approach, I think, if we really want to make a dent in these.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, when you do have those kind of conditions that, that I guess are more heavily influenced by lifestyle factors, then it's not just a matter of, like you say, trying to keep somebody on, medications. And I love the fact that medications are out there. I take them myself.
Absolutely.
I take them myself as a matter of fact. But there's also, the food choices, all the things that we're putting in our body, supplements and all of this other kind of stuff. So again, it all works in there. And I think I'm very, very happy that there are people like yourself out there and a lot of mainstream doctors these days who are really going down that path. So I think that's a great thing. Now, this morning, huge topic. We're talking about chronic pain. And for those of you out there who are suffering, living with chronic pain, boy, oh boy, we hear you this morning. Definitely feel for you. So let's jump into it. What is actually happening in the body when we're feeling pain?
Okay, so it's important to understand that pain is an alarm system. It's there to alert us that something's not quite right and that we need to stop while the body can heal, or while that's being addressed, or to cause us to stop what we're doing. So if we put our hand on a hot plate, for example, that pain is there to, before we've even thought about it, remove us from that dangerous situation. So it's also important to understand that pain comes from the brain. So when, for example, if you were to sprain your ankle, those nerve receptors in your ankle send the message to your brain, and the brain produces pain as a protective mechanism so that you don't keep running on that sprained ankle.
Yeah.
So that's what it is at its basic form. But I suppose what can happen is this alarm system for some people can become faulty, or it can become oversensitive. So kind of like if you think of a smoke alarm that just goes off randomly at the slightest change in pressure or anything. For some people, that can be the case. So even when that injury has healed or resolved, they may still experience pain or for no particular immediate danger.
Sure. So I mean, if you would look at pain, you'd probably class it as acute and chronic. So talking this morning about chronic pain, so how would you define that? Chronic pain?
Yeah, so basically any pain that is ongoing, usually beyond the reasonable recovery period, so when the tissues have healed or whatnot, usually for 3 months or longer. And the pain can be there constantly or it can come and go. So yeah, basically, yeah, ongoing pain after recovery, and it doesn't resolve, and usually 3 months or longer.
Yeah. Now, what are the most common causes of chronic pain, and who is most likely to be affected by that?
Well, it's really non-discriminant, actually. So I think in the past we've thought about pain as sort of, an old person's problem, we start to get the bad back or whatnot. But actually, 70% of people suffering chronic pain are of working age. So that, can be from adolescents, young adults, right through to the elderly. And 1 in 5 people in Australia experience chronic pain.
Wow, that is a huge amount of people, isn't it?
It is a lot of people. And so the types of causes can range from anything from an old injury that either hasn't quite resolved or that alarm system hasn't quite turned off after it's healed. Or it can be secondary to another medical condition. So things like arthritis, a lot of autoimmune conditions, things like rheumatoid arthritis or ankylosing spondylitis. And then probably more so in the younger population as well, as we see a lot of these fibromyalgia and polymyalgia, so these pain processing conditions, and migraines, and women's health conditions like endometriosis is a huge problem. Yeah. So there's lots and lots of different causes of the pain.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, what are some of, this is the thing I guess people are really wanting to zero in on this morning. Now, what are some of the treatments that you use in your practice to deal with chronic pain management?
Yeah, sure. So it's a holistic approach. So at the base level, pain education is really important, whether that comes from me or someone outside, so maybe a specialized pain psychologist. But we know the research tells us that when people understand how pain works, it can help people have a better experience and dampen down the intensity of that pain. So that's first and foremost. And then for me, I'm looking at using diet to start with. So we want to, often I will use an anti-inflammatory diet. So we want to remove foods that are driving any inflammation, which might be involved in the pain. And we want to increase foods that have an anti-inflammatory effect. Because even food can be a danger signal to the body. If we're talking about pain as an alarm system, if you eat something that's highly processed or that's very inflammatory, your body or your brain will interpret that as, whoa, this isn't good. So it can amplify pain in that way. I might also use elimination diets. So sometimes if people have food sensitivities, things like gluten, oxalates, these can actually be a contributor to pain for some people. We know that people with celiac disease, for example, with that autoimmune issue with gluten, can have a lot of pain and back pain as well. So I'm wanting to identify any triggers as far as the diet goes. And then I'd be looking at herbal or nutritional supplements, which either have an anti-inflammatory effect or an analgesic effect. So trying to reduce people's need for the more heavy pain medication, or nutrients and herbs that help address the cause. So naturopathy is all about getting to the root cause of what's going on. So, for example, if it's driven by an autoimmune condition, we want to look at those herbs and nutrients that are going to help regulate the immune system, as well as dampen down the inflammation and support gut health, because a lot of our immune system is derived out of what's going on in our gut as well. So, and then there's lifestyle strategies as well. So giving people tools to help them with sleep and stress, because we know that if people don't sleep well, if they're very stressed, that makes their pain worse, and then it's a vicious cycle.
Not the merry-go-round you want to be caught on, that's for sure.
No, that's right. So we want to try and give people some tools to help break those cycles. as well. So it will look different for everyone because the cause of their pain will be different. Their life circumstances will be different, and their stage of life will be different. So it's very much about what does this individual need and what's going to benefit them most in this moment.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what I love is that sort of more individualistic approach towards each person's needs, not just the one size kind of fits all. We know that, that's probably been utilised for a long, long, long time, but thankfully these days I think that is starting to change in a lot of different areas concerning health. We are joined by she will be our resident nutritionist naturopath. Kelli Kieselbach is on Zoom with us this morning. Stay with us. We've got got some quick music coming up, and we'll be back to chat to Kelli a little bit later on. This is Rhema Brekky on your Friday morning. It is 19 minutes after 8. 40 k's an hour is the speed limit, so please make sure you slow down and do the right thing. We are talking with our resident nutritionist and naturopath. Kelli Kieselbach is on Zoom with us this morning. Now, Kelli, you, I guess this is a bit of a different one. You've got a special interest in treating people with things like chronic pain, fatigue. I mean, that is a big one in itself. How did you get started in this field?
Well, I guess so. My own health journey has been with chronic fatigue syndrome, which also, has a pain aspect to it as well. So daily headaches and achy pain, and through that, I met a lot of people who have similar conditions, or overlapping conditions, things like fibromyalgia, which is a pain processing disorder, or other types of conditions that fall into that category. And I just saw firsthand and experienced firsthand how debilitating they were. And I just wanted always to find a way to be able to help people. And this is the way that I've chosen and the way that I felt fit best for me to be able to support people to move out of some of that suffering.
Sure. Now, what are some of the outcomes that you're seeing in clients that you're working with, perhaps in terms of, pain levels, mobility, kind of changes in their lifestyle and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we notice, I think the quality of life, the change in the quality of life is really important. If you can take someone from not being able to do daily tasks for themselves, to being able to, conduct things that we all take for granted, being able to make their own dinners and pick things up off the floor and, do those types of things, then that has a huge impact on people. And it really helps them to find some joy and hope in their life. But it also helps with mental health as well. So you can see a big change in people's mental health. And we know that there's a big correlation between people experiencing chronic pain and increases in depression and anxiety. So that's really important. And probably the other key thing is seeing people have a reduced need for those really heavy pain medications. And improved general wellness and health as well, which flows on into improving their pain levels. So,
the mental health aspect of living with chronic pain is just massive, isn't it? Because when your body is living with that, those kind of levels of just constant pain, the toll that it does take on you. Obviously in the whole part of your person, but particularly what's going on up in the grey matter, it just can't be overstated, can it?
No, it's huge. It's huge. And you can understand why. But being able to, bring it to a manageable level and to see people being able to go back to work or, go back to school, do those sorts of things is really very rewarding.
Yeah, sure. Now, if people, living with chronic pain out there listening in this morning, you maybe haven't thought, I guess, outside what you would call the conventional medicine box, what are some of the benefits of the more holistic approach, particularly working with you?
Yeah. So I think one would be, as I said, like reducing the need for really heavy pain medications, or reducing side effects from some of the medications that they need to be on. And then also trying to get to the root cause and not just the symptoms. Absolutely, symptomatic treatment is important. But also, if we can deal with some of the underlying drivers, then people have a better outcome long term. And I think also one of the things that we forget is being empowered to manage their pain better, being able to give people the tools. So from all aspects, and that could be from a nutritional point of view, from a naturopathic point of view, but also hopefully they're utilizing psychology services and, conventional, so that real, take what you can from everything and grab all the tools and to be empowered. I think that's a real plus.
Yep, absolutely. Now, look, one of the silver linings, I guess, that's come out of, the last those kind of 3 years or thereabouts that we're all dealing with this pandemic has been the different platforms that have been opened up to us now in terms of connecting with people. And this is something that you do as far as your consultations and just ongoing treatment and things like that. You do Zoom meetings online. You've also got a website. So can you tell us a little bit about how people can get in contact with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So probably the easiest way is to head to my website, which is www.kellik, so kellik.com.au. And there you can find all my contact details. You can contact me directly through the website. You can also book appointments online. So I do about probably almost 50% of my consultations now are probably via Zoom all over Australia, which is exciting. Or you can also follow me on social media as well. So I do have an Instagram page, KelliK_naturopath, and Facebook as well, which is Kelli K Naturopath.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's probably
they are the most important details that we need this morning for sure. So again, Instagram and Facebook.
Yes. Yep.
And
so Instagram, Kelli KELLIK_naturopath, and Facebook, Kelli K Health. If you search those, you should be able to find me.
Yep. Awesome. Kelli, thank you so much for taking time out of your morning and joining us. And Kelli will be with us. I think we've lined it up for every second Friday morning in the month now, isn't it? Which is fantastic.
Yes.
So we will be chatting to Kelli again next month. We'll be having a look at a different topic altogether. But that's what we want to make sure that you guys out there know that she will be, she's a part of the Rhema family now pretty much, the Rhema Brekky family, and so looking forward to having her back on the program. I think, like I said, the second Friday morning of every month. So looking forward to that again. Kelli, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you hold the line.
Thanks for having me.
You're very, very welcome. You hold the line there. I'll get back to you shortly. This is Rhema Brekky on your Friday morning. Stay with us. We got the 8:30 news next.